Creating AI animation videos is easier than ever. But making good AI videos with consistent characters is hard. That's why in this video I will break down all the different techniques that all YouTubers have been gatekeeping from you. So by the end of this video you should be able to make your own AI animation. But first let me show you an example.
I'm home.
Mommy is gone.
So that is just a preview of my AI animation video. I won't show you the full thing. But there are 4 steps that go into creating your own AI animation video. We will go over image generation and storyboarding. I'll show you how to get started with image to video. Then I'll show you how to use that for audio sync. And lastly, I will talk about the editing. 95% of what I've shown you is done through Higgsfield AI. If you want to try this out for yourself, I would recommend clicking the link in the description down below so you can follow along with me. Okay, step number 1, we have storyboarding and AI image generation. Before you make any story, you first got to have an idea what your story is about. So as soon as you have your idea in the back of your head, you need to start storyboarding. We will do that with image generation. As soon as I have an idea about a story, I start with creating my characters. So these are the 3 characters that we will be creating. We have this husband, then we have the wife, and then we have the kid. All of them are created super easily just through Nanobanana. Basically what I did is I set a 3D animated young woman of around 25-year-old, and then I just described what she looks like. So that's not the hard part. The only thing you gotta make sure of is that you use the same style. So in this case, they are all 3D animation. Then the next step is creating your own character sheet. Your character sheet will actually help you with getting the consistency right. So I have made a character sheet of each of my characters. As you can see, we have all kind of different angles. We have different close-ups of their face on different angles as well. And now we can start using this. If you want to make your own character sheet, you can do that as follows. You basically go over to Nanobanana Pro or Nanobanana 2. Then you upload the image of your character that you have. So here I uploaded the image of the guy. And then you copy in this detailed prompt that I have for you. If you want to find this prompt, you can find it in my free school community. There I will leave all the prompts that I use. So you can do this at your own pace. And it's completely free, so you have nothing to lose. Basically, I'm adding in this prompt, then we create it in 16:9 and 4K, and then you hit generate, and this will get you something like this. After you've created the character sheet for all of your characters like this, then you can get started with making your images. To create an image, all you have to do is you have to upload that character sheet into Nanobanana, and then you can simply add in your prompt. And this is where you start experimenting, because creating images is cheap, so you want to make as many different images as possible, because as soon as you start making videos, that's where it gets expensive. So start with storyboarding your thing first. Get an idea. For example, here I have a 3D animated man in a dark suit and a loosened tie, messenger bag on his shoulder, standing inside a warmly lit apartment. Basically what I'm doing is I have my character, then I have like some details about him, then I describe the kind of like action he's doing. So he's having a hand on the door as if he's just walking in, looking into the room, and it is in Disney Pixar animation style. Now you hit generate. Make sure you're detailed with your prompt. Describe exactly what you want to see there. So that got me this result. And you want to be doing this for each of your scene. Now, the first example that I showed you of making this image is an easy example. In a second, I will show you a more advanced example. But basically, what you want to do is you want to describe what you want to have happen in your story. So I made a little story here in Figma. And then I just started storyboarding inside of Figma. So I'm putting in images of what's happening on each scene so that I have a general idea of where my story is going before I start animating this. So these are all the images that I made. Let me now show you how to make another image that is a bit more complex. It didn't end up making the scene, but it's still good for you to learn how to make something like that. So for this shot where they're handing out flyers of this woman that is missing, I essentially used 3 image references. I first used a character sheet of my main character here, then I used a character sheet of the kid. And then I also used this image as the flyer that they are handing out. If you combine that with a simple prompt like this, a wide-centered shot at night, a father and his young son stand on the sidewalk handing out flyers to pedestrians walking past. Basically, describe what you want to see. That's the main takeaway I want to give you here. I'm saying that the father is holding a stack of flyers and the bolt holds a smaller stack. A woman reaches out and the dad hands her a flyer. Basically, what we see happening here, you want to try and put that in simple words so that you and the AI understands what's going on the scene. I added in some details that both the father and the son look tired and a bit sad. And then also what I did is at the end of my prompt, I added in that it needs to look like Pixar, DreamWorks style 3D animation. Another important thing that you can add in here is adding in details about the lights. For example, in that opening shot, I have a soft light going on. And here I want to have that happening too with the street lanterns. Now, this is pretty important because if you don't add in these details, you could get something like this. So for example, this animation completely failed as we have our 3D animated characters mixed with like real looking characters, and it's not animation. I mean, unless you're making something like Garfield where you have like one AI animated character and the rest is all realistic looking people, then you might want this, but this is not the case and this looks a bit strange in my opinion. But overall, when generating images, those are generally cheap. So just make the best ones and make a lot of them, because you can make mistakes now. You don't want to make these mistakes when you're generating videos. I want to show you one more image that I make, which I think is important for you to understand how I made this. So this image where he's looking at this photo of them is actually made by first making this. So this is the first image that I made. So this is them taking a selfie, and that's just using both of their character sheets with a prompt of them sitting in a cinema with a bucket of popcorn watching a movie while he looks at her. Then I used this, I downloaded this, and then I put this inside of the prompt box. Let me actually show you. So I basically gave it this character sheet. So I have this image, which is our character sheet, and then I have this image of them. And then what you can do is inside of Higgsfield, you can tag them. So what I did in my prompt is we look over the right shoulder as he holds a printed photo in both hands in front of him. And then I'm adding in the add, and then I'm adding in image 2. So that means that I'm referring to that image. So the AI understands that we're referring to that image. So then I'm adding in more details and then I hit generate. So that ended up getting us this result. The next step, what you can do with this is you can click open in Multishot, and here you can start making different angles of this video. So without having to prompt, you can just put this in here and it will generate multiple different angles. Not all will be usable, but some of them are quite good. So for example, this is quite good. I like this one, I like this one. And basically you can click the ones that you like and then you can upscale them. This is another easy way to get multiple different angles easily without putting in too much effort into reframing the camera manually. Again, because we will be using image to video in the next step, it is important that you first lay out the foundation of what your story will be. And this will evolve during this process, like that's happened to me. And you will go back even while generating videos to make more images, but at least if you have a basic storyline, then you have a bit of an idea what you want to have happen in the next scenes. And this will also save you a lot of credits. Now, step number 2 is creating your videos. We will do this by using image to video. I will show you 3 different techniques that I think you should master to make your own long AI animation videos. The first technique is quite easy. It is using start and end frame, and I use this all the time. For example, if we take a look at this video, and if I show you how I made this, it's him coming through the door. But as you saw in my generation, all I had was this image of him already standing in this room. Now what we can do to have a bit more control over the outcome is we can use start and end frame. So what I did is I used this as a reference, and then I can literally tell Nano Banana something simple like remove the guy and close the door. That's all I did, and just generate it, and then you will get something like this. So now I download this shot also. And now we're going over to Kling 3.0. You can find this here in video, then Kling 3.0, and here we have start and end frame. So what you want to do is you want to upload that frame right here. Then you want to upload the second frame with him walking through the door. And then you can add in your prompt where you say something like, he grips the doorknob, turns it, and he pushes through the door while saying, I'm home. he steps inside and slides his hands from the doorknob to the edge of the door looking into the room. Then you can pick your duration of how long you want this to be happening, and then you hit generate. And then you have your finished result.
I'm home!
I use this technique all the time to get the exact result that I want. And this is far easier than having the AI speculate like what happened before or after that by not providing a last frame. If you just edit your image with Nano Banana, you have way more control over the outcome. Then we have technique number 2, scene continuation. So if we take the example of our guy entering the door, let's say we want to have one continuous take like this, where he not only walks through the door, but also the camera pans to the right side and then we see the kid on the couch. Like this is called scene continuation because we're essentially combining 2 different scenes into one by using start and end frame. To make it look seamless, it's very important that you take the last frame, so in this case this guy, or even like this, as we already had that as our last frame, and you take that last frame, download that, and use this as a start frame in the next scene. So now if we go back to the image that we made, so I already made an image where we have the kid sitting on the couch like this, and if I save this image, then I use this as my last frame. So combined we have this as a start frame and this as a last frame. We put this again inside of Kling, and then we basically say a man closed the door, camera turns slowly, pans towards the kid, and then we hit generate. And then if we stitch that together with the first scene, then we have one continuous take.
The transition between the scenes gone.
The third and last technique that you need to understand to make good looking image to video generations is Kling 3.0 Multishot. This is super powerful for if you want to have one generation with multiple different camera angles. In this case, you can do this with 2 camera angles or even more than that. Here's an example of what Multishot looks like. In one 9-second video, we have 3 camera angles, and that is because I used Multishot right here. To explain to you how I made this, I used Kling 3.0 Omni. And what you can do in here is you can upload different elements. So essentially how this shot was made is we have these 3 elements where we have the father tucking in the kid to bed, then we have the father like sitting against the wall, and then we have a character sheet of the father, because this way we have the clothes consistent. And that is essential because we have the father moving in this shot. So we want to make sure that the AI understands what he looks like. Then we enable Multishot right here and we add in 3 different shots. For the first shot, we're gonna put in the image reference, and then we're saying a father tucks his young son into the bed, gently brushes his hair, both look sad. Then for the second shot, essentially this means that you have a different camera angle here. The father stands up, turns off the light, opens the door and walks out into the hallway. The door slowly closes. I made this one a little bit longer, so I made this like 4 seconds long. And then for a last shot, I gave it the following prompt. I first tagged the image that we're using for this, so we're using image 2, and then I gave it the prompt. The father leans against the wall besides the door and slowly slides down to sit on the floor. So that is how Multishot works. Now you click generate and then you will have a video like this one. It turned out a little bit different than the reference images, but in my opinion it is better because I wanted him to sit against the wall besides the door, and he's sitting at the opposite side of the wall, because if we look at our reference, we have him sitting here, but the AI made him sit there. Doesn't matter, it still looks pretty good. Another way of how you can do this is you can stitch together different shots and have a little compilation of different images or different scenes. In this case, it worked perfectly for this scene. So that is another way you can do this. You could still generate this separately, works just as well. Might even give you more control, but Kling 3.0 Omni is a good tool to use if you have multiple different references laying around and you want to just make one video out of it. Now that you understand how to make your images, your videos, there's one more problem that we need to tackle. And that is what we're going to do in step number 3, which is audio syncing. Now this video that I just shown you doesn't have much dialogue, and that's also a thing a lot of people tend to avoid when it comes to making AI videos, because the lip sync, the dialogue sometimes might sound off. I have found a way to solve this, however. I will show you this clip right here. So this is before I applied my voice changer. And this is him coming home.
I'm home.
Now, if I were to generate a different scene where I have this guy talking again, like for example this one.
Hey buddy, why do you look so sad? Where's mommy?
I couldn't find her, Dad. She wasn't here when I woke up.
Then in each AI generated video, you might have a slightly different voice. No matter what kind of prompting you do, this will always be the problem. And that is a thing that a lot of people don't know how to solve. The best method you can use to solve this is using a voice changer. Now what you can do is if you go over to audio inside of Higgsfield and you go over to change voice, then you can upload your clip right here. And then you can pick a voice and then you can hit generate. So after I change the voice, it sounds like this and it's consistent across both scenes.
I'm home. Hey buddy, why do you look so sad? Where's mommy?
I couldn't find her, Dad. She wasn't here when I woke up.
To be honest, this works decently. I'm not gonna say to you that this is the best method, and I'm not gonna gatekeep the best method from you. The best method, if you wanna truly solve this, is using the voice changer in ElevenLabs. Basically works the same way. In my opinion, it's a bit better and you have more variety of voices to choose from, including making your own custom voice. Okay, let's wrap this up into the packaging, and this is where you will make the difference between a good and a bad video. So step number 4 is editing. For this, you can use any type of video editor that you want. You can use CapCut, DaVinci, both of them are free options, or you can use Premiere. I already have Premiere on my PC as I'm using it for my YouTube channel, so I'm using it in this case. Essentially what you want to do, like I've explained in that storyboard that we make, you want to lay out every clip after each other, and then you can apply a little bit of editing to make it look good. The only thing that I've done here is I've added a bit of film burn in this clip and I've made them fade into each other to make it look like he's having a flashback. Then another tip I want to give you, if you have a lot of dialogue, Kling 3.0 tends to have some issues with lip syncing. What I did in this clip right here, in this orange one, is I literally took the vocals or the audio right here and I moved them a bit earlier. So this is the clip, I copied that and I moved it a bit before the actual audio. And that way, if we compare this, then you can see that in this one,
I'm home.
the lip sync is a bit off compared to this one.
I'm home.
The last thing that you need to do when it comes to editing is adding in some sound effects and some music to tie the whole thing together. And you can make these sound effects through any type of software. Let's say you're using Artlist, you can find your sound effects there. If you're already having ElevenLabs, then you can also with AI make your own custom sound effects. And in terms of music, you can even AI generate music now, or you can use something like Artlist.
I'm home.
Mommy is gone.
I'll give you the names of every undercover agent in my network. Just don't hurt my family.
So that's it. That's how you make your own AI animation videos. If you want to try this out for yourself, I would strongly recommend using a tool like Higgsfield. I will leave the link to Higgsfield in the description down below, and I will also leave a link to my school community where you can sign up for free and see all of my prompts that I use for this videos and all of my other videos in the description down below. Make sure to click the video that's on the screen right now if you want to learn how you can make realistic looking AI images and videos of yourself. Seriously, it's a good video. Watch it.